I don't speak too loud, don't stand too tall, but I hear the thunder before it calls. They taught me justice behind a desk. I found it better wearing a Kevlar vest. They say my eyes go somewhere else, like I'm reading through your skin. It ain't magic, it's just knowing where the hurt begins. I'm the ghost in the rotor wash, fire in the spin. The convoy's cracking when the fight begins. No flag, no prayers, just dust and lead. I hold the line where angels dread. Sky ghost, I don't speak loud, but when I fly, you hear thunder from a clear blue sky. Been 2 years with this crew of mine, each one scarred but standing fine. Cover girl don't smile like she used to do, but she steal when the metal sings true. Ricky Kondo keeps his words like knives, sharp and few, but he'll save your life. And then Roadblock, he's the ground beneath, cooks our food and carries grief. Alpha Llama's just a patch of dirt, see under, tummy humming, engines alert. Gun mounts posted, jump jets prime, we ain't moved in days, but it's feeling like time. Hawk said hold it, so here we stay. Dust in our teeth, ghost in the fray. We ain't green, we're set to bleed. 4 good Joes, all we need. We see the flashes down below. Forward for now, can't take much more, but silence holds, the order's tight. No shots, no calls, not yet, not tonight. We are the way out the door behind. One shot fired and they'll find the line. So we hover still behind the clouds, stealing hands, screaming, not yet out loud. I'm the ghost in the rotor wash, fire in the spin. The convoy's cracking when the fight begins. No flag, no prayers, just dust and lead. I hold the line where angels dread. No glory, no fame, just smoke and sky. But I'm here when your last hope flies. You don't see me till you're gone, and then you know who carried on. Yeah, it goes. Sky goes. Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell, he's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes, and villains at midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking about the Joe team and a Cobra tide. Joe's got snake eyes, the silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's Duke, the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra commander plots and schemes, see ruling the world in his dreams. Zartan is never what he seems, and Baron is rocks that black leather outfit. Shoot you quick and slip out the back of the head. Yo, Joe, Cobra. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, yo, Joe, Cobra. Talking about the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references, time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Yo, Joe, greetings. Welcome to another episode of Joe Takes. This is Joe Takes 69, and tonight we're talking about Airborne from the Hilt. Now, This has been a big month, in 2 months for GI Joe over here on the GI Joe Gamer channel. Let's shout out our friends here in the chat. We got Cool Gamer. What's up, Cool Gamer? It's always good to see you, buddy. We got my bud Jess Laws. How you doing, my friend? Sounds like you're not doing so hot. Pharmacy is saying fill the pain meds early a few times, so they refuse to refill till 2 or 3 days after the actual due date withdrawals. Yeah, I know. It took me over a week to get one of my pain meds, so you know it's something going on, and I wish they would fix their crap, but you know that's life. But over here, let's talk some GI Joe. Now, let's see if we can get some tunes on in the background here. It's a little too loud. Let's get it down here to where we can hear it, but not be overheard. Okay. I have been shooting my GI Joe Lady Bloodright movie. I have Act 3, Scene 9 to show you tonight at the end of the show, so that should be pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoy that. Wow, it's been once a week for the last 9 weeks now, or 10 weeks actually, because before that we had the preamble. So this will be the 10th scene that I'm going to show you. I got one more. That'll be next week with Iron Grenadiers. So look forward to that. That's not just a single character. I am kind of going to focus on the Iron Grenadier character, but it's a troop building sub-team set. Let's see, you don't know how it could have been filled early when their system and insurance don't allow that. So I'm confused and angry. Yeah, it's an excuse because there's lack of supply. Really. Yeah, it is crap. Okay, so here's what we got going on today with Airborne. Now, Airborne is in my movie is heading up a small base, an air base, with he's got one little squad of Joes there protecting the air base. The bigger base down at the bottom of the hill where they're at is protecting them and making it so that they're hidden, so that they have an aircraft to escape with. You know, that's just it's their ace in the hole. And so he's in the beginning of this scene today, just a bit, and we'll talk about that as we get going. We're going to start like we normally do, though, and show the vintage Airborne figure. Now, a lot of people think that Spirit was the first Native American G.I. Joe. He's from Taos, New Mexico. But Airborne is a Navajo from Arizona. So he was the first Native American Joe. Now, what's funny is, and I'll get talking about the comics, but in issue 31, him and Spirit teamed up, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, he comes with an M16, and he comes with a backpack that later was also packaged with Duke. In fact, they share a lot of similar parts. But Airborne was the one who had him first, and this character take off the backpack. Now these backpacks, back in the day, they would stay, and so I had to really work back to get that off there. And like I said, he came with an M16 standard assault rifle for military forces in the United States. Now, of course, they've upgraded to I believe 4 or something like that. Now you should go with the P90, of course, but that's your French gun. So there is Airborne without a helmet. Now, I personally like the helmet look, and this is not his original helmet. This is the accessory pack helmet. So if the coloration is a little off, that's why, and if it doesn't fit quite right, that's why it's not his original helmet. However, I acquired this figure through trade, and I never actually got him in the stores. Now, as far as his accessories are concerned, I got them with the figures, so they should be the original except for the helmet. You like this music? Yeah, me too. This is what is my background music for my scene today. So I know you're a real person, Cool Gamer. You're a real person twice. You got 2 channels. No, we like hanging out with you, Pro Gamer. So yeah. Check it out. He's got straps around his legs and waist so that he can rappel off a helicopter, because he was originally the helicopter assault trooper. Now they have shortened that to just assault trooper. If I get the helmet back on correctly, I think. Like I said, not the original helmet, but it's the same mold of the original helmet, and it was just from the accessory pack that came out the year after. And he has knee pads. Some people really like knee pads. I don't ever remember the other. I think knee pads are cool, and they're all right. Let's get him geared back up, and now I'm going to take a trip down memory lane here real quick, because he had, before the classified, 6 versions of Airborne to come out. I'm only going to be showing you 2, the one I just showed you plus one other, and then the classified figure, of course. Yes, you are. But in the vintage line, that was it. That was the only Airborne that came out. In the early 2000s and 2003, as part of the Spy Troops, he came out packaged with a Televiper, and he could disguise himself as Copperhead. But it really doesn't, I'll show you the comparison here. It doesn't look much like the original figure. Now, the very next year, they came out with a better one that came with a jet called the Sky Sweeper. It looks like this. I actually have this jet, but I did not come with a figure when I bought it. There were 2 versions at the time that they sold. And if I'd have known that they had an Airborne, I'd have picked up an Airborne, because I didn't know. They sold so many different products at that time. It was unreal. There's no way anyone could follow what they did in the 2000s. They made so many figures, and so many things came out. I saw the Sky Sweeper. I never saw it with Airborne in the stores, but I bought it. And it would have been cool to have another Airborne figure, because this was the only one I had for years and years. Now, after those 2, in the early 2000s, 2008, I think, they brought out the packaged version of Airborne. And you know what's funny? I do have a carded version of Airborne downstairs. If I had thought about it, I'd have grabbed it and showed it to you. This backpack is nothing like the other one. He does come with a sidearm that holsters. And for some reason, they gave him a machine gun with a bayonet, which is not an M16. They gave him a different gun. But, it's okay. But the straps, you could actually hook a line to that so he could rappel from the helicopter. That was a nice addition. And his helmet was a nice soft plastic. It comes off. And of course, you have to drop something. It's got the battle station. And I thought this updated look for Airborne was more true to the character. You almost poured coffee on your phone instead of your coffee. Isn't your coffee as much? Well, that sucks. Okay, so now I'm going to pair these 2 figures up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He kind of looks like he has an afro. It kind of looks like an African American in the original. But, and you can tell, he's a Navajo Native American in this version. So those are the 2 versions in the 3 3/4 inch and 4 inch that I have. I do have another one that came out like within about 2 years after this one. Not the same mold or anything. I don't know why, but for some reason they decided to change his code name to Air Raid. And I have it, but I used it to make another figure, and this is what it looked like. And he had a really cool helmet. There was a pilot's helmet, and it came with this, which I wanted to show you guys this, but it's in my storage and I couldn't bring it out. But it's basically a fire bat with extra engines and more missiles. It's a really cool update to the fire bat. I thought it was pretty badass, and that's what it looks like. So yeah, and they called it a Sky Sweeper, and this was also called the Sky Sweeper. I guess the reason why is because he originally came with this skysweeper here, this black skysweeper. I love the black skysweeper. I like the blue one. I always imagine this as an aquatic submarine flying sub like the Shark. So there you go. Now, like I said, it came with this air raid figure, but it's his file card still listed him as Franklin Taltree, so he was still airborne. I don't know why they decided to change his code name. It was probably a copyright issue. But just like 2 years before, they had him as Sergeant Airborne. And then within 2 to 3 more years, they brought out with a Ninja Assault Pack an Airborne figure that looks nothing like Airborne. Now, when he's all geared up, he still didn't look anything like Airborne. It's a very blurry picture, but you can see, yeah, this is a Halo jumper. This is a paratrooper. And, you know, it was cool that he came out later again with the, it was like the 50th anniversary line is what they called it. And he was always, it was for G.I. Joe Retaliation, the movie. And they packaged him with, I think, Beachhead and a Cobra. No, it was Mouse. Yeah, that was the only time they brought out Mouse. And I did want to get that set because Mouse was in the movie G.I. Joe Retaliation. So it was a new Joe that I don't have. So that would have been pretty cool to have that set, but I never was able to pick it up. Now, that's going to take us to the classified, which we'll start with the back of the box this time. Now, if you'll note over here, you'll see one of those moai from Easter Island. There's music for that when we get talking about the cartoon. I'll tell you about it. This is number 115 in the series. I do like that they had his sergeant insignia on his shoulder. I do like the fact that they show you his helmet up close. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, but this helmet is not all that great. Now, of course, you have the side of the box over here with all the useless information that we don't care about. We want a file card, Hasbro, and you're 100 and almost 80 figures in on the classified series now, and still no file cards except for on the back of the retro, and there are international file cards. But they list him here with artwork. I thought that was pretty cool that they had some artwork on the front. And I was disappointed when they stopped doing this. They went back to the window packaging, had the artwork, and then they ditched the artwork on the front. And the current ones don't have it. Now, he was listed as G.I. Joe Franklin Airborne Taltree, which that's his file name is Franklin E. Taltree. And then you've got the box art on the side, which it is the same as on the front, which was okay. Most of the time they have different artwork. And this particular version of Airborne is really cool. He came with a backpack that was just a Duke backpack because they'd already brought Duke out, but originally this design was for Airborne. Now it's got a painted on spade there, or entrenching tool as they like to call it, shovel for lack of a better term. But pretty cool backpack, matches the original much better. As you can see, it's the same style and design except for right there. Yeah, there you go. Now he came with 2 sets of goggles for some reason. One to go over his head and then one to go over his helmet. So like on the original, you had goggles on the helmet. A better way to see that is on the 25th anniversary, where he has a pair of goggles molded onto his helmet. And he has, a comm mic right there, communication mic, which is pretty cool. Okay. So we got, like I said, they have these big old goggles, and I'll show you how they fit on the helmet. It's not exactly easy to put them on, but once you get them on there right, they stay on. But there's a issue with this helmet. Here is your classified Airborne. Now he's got those straps, and I like to put his machine gun in there. They did not have him come with a machine like he originally came with. Now, holding true to all his releases, he came out with a different gun every time. Now, he's got the comm gear on his helmet, and he's got the chin strap, which doesn't work, which I'm glad. That would have been a pain in the butt. And we got Cool Gamer 2 popping in here. Hey, Cool Gamer 2, we know who you are. Good to see you, Cool Gamer. And he comes with a combat knife. Got to have your combat knife and your sidearm. So you see just a standard little combat knife. So just a combat knife, and it just holsters in there, slides right into the sheath. Like a chip holster right there on his chest. Okay. Now this machine gun came with originally Firefly, and then they brought it out with Duke. Because Duke originally came with a gun like this, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's got a magazine that pops in and out, which is really cool. Now, when it's packaged, it actually has a suppressor that attaches to it like that. Now it looks more like the traditional Firefly style gun, but his holster for his pistol has a spot for the suppressor and a little pistol, little 9mm Beretta. I'm guessing that's what this is because you can't tell with these toys. The suppressor goes onto it as well. So you've got the suppressor that can go onto the pistol or the machine gun, which I think is really cool. But for display purposes, I slide it down into the little slot there on his holster, and this pistol goes right there. Now, in the package, it's attached to the machine gun. It doesn't even tell you that it goes there, but if you know anything about these holsters, the ones with the slot for the, I can't handle these skin crawls and mood swings. Well, I'm sorry, Jess. I'm sorry you're having skin crawls and mood swings. Okay, now, this is the issue with the helmet that I wanted to discuss with you. Get this arm out of the way. We'll take the helmet off so I can show you, and so you can get a better look at Airborne. Now, he does these goggles, they popped off with the helmet. It's Airborne. Like I said, they have a pretty good head scope for him, which this head scope was what inspired some of the AI generated art that I have in his file card, which we'll be taking a look at here in just a little bit in the background. And I got some really good AI generated art for this character. These goggles go on there, and looks pretty good with the goggles, I think. And here's his helmet. They just gave him one of the standard G.I. Joe helmets. Just got a new subscriber, welcome. Okay, so, and these night vision goggles. These, I don't like those. Pops on there in that little slot on the helmet, so that when you go to put the goggles over the front to display it, you have to actually slide them down over that, and I actually use that to hold the goggles in place. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to have goggles on his face and on his helmet at the same time. Now, a lot of them you can put the goggles around his head backwards so you can't see him under the helmet, but this helmet fits snug and you don't need to do that. So you either have the big goggles on the helmet, which don't have the painted tint to them, which I think is a mistake because this is supposed to be the same set of goggles just stretched out over the helmet. But clearly they're not the same goggles. I know why they did this, because it matches the aesthetic of the original better. But if you look at the 25th anniversary figure, they painted it. So it's like, what? Why didn't you just go with what you did on the 25th anniversary figure? You'll pay attention so you can try to distract your brain. All right. That's kind of what we do around here, is distract our brain. But like I said, it goes down over that slot for the night vision goggles, and it holds in place fairly well. That was a lot of these goggles just pop right off and don't stay very well. And like I said, I was just recently messing around with it, and you can use this these belt loops on his pants to have him rappel from a helicopter, which on my Joe Takes 69, which I'll play at the end of the episode, right after my part from G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright, C9, and you can just pop it right in there, so he has easy access to his machine gun and he doesn't have to carry it. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'll show you what I mean, because the goggles will go on over the head, and then he's got two goggles. I mean, you know, and they don't match. Now, if you're going to go all green with the green aesthetic, that wouldn't look good on his face. So I see why they did it, but they should have gone with the painted goggles for the helmet as well. So they matched. They don't match. And it's just a little quality control issue for me. Now, he has the knee pads, and he has all the really cool articulation, pinless joints and all that, and he has elbow pads, which he did not have. He had some on his original figure there, but not to the extent that they gave him on here. They have them on both the upper and lower arm. You should be all the same. Should be all the same color, right? It should be the same, so that it matches. And like you'll be able to see it better on Joe Takes 69. But he's got his rank and insignia there, and then on the side of his helmet there was a pink out that they showed on the box, but I can't see it. Maybe you guys can. But like I said, it should show up in the video at the end. And it's a really cool figure. I like Airborne. He's a neat character. Not overutilized, very underutilized, if you ask me, as for the purposes of this character. He's basically a helicopter gunner. He's also a pilot, which, you know, they explored that part of his character later on, that he became a pilot, not just a gunner. In his file card, it says he's a paratrooper, and he likes to jump out of planes. So I get why the G.I. Joe Retaliation version looked like a paratrooper. All the same, you go with the original look, and that's what most people recognize Airborne as, and that's how I see it. Now, can you paint the helmet to match with Tiger's paints? Yeah, I could, but I'm not talented that way, Jess. I could get Tiger to do it if she would. I generally don't do stuff like that with my classified. I would have to buy a second one, and I don't have the money to do that, because I like to keep one as original as possible. Go back on the wall and you're right there, hanging off that watchtower. So I have two versions of that going on. She might do it. She might. Tiger had a birthday yesterday, so I'm giving her a shout out. Happy birthday to my wife yesterday. She has you know, we count backwards from 40, so she's 29 this year. All right, so that takes us to the character of Airborne. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the photo card the video I put together. And you guys will see he's a pretty cool character. Here we go. Code name, Airborne.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Code name Airborne. Helicopter assault trooper file name Franklin E. Tall Tree. Grade E6. Staff Sergeant U.S. Army. Birthplace Navajo Reservation, Arizona. Primary specialty Airborne. graduated Airborne School, Fort Benning. Airborne's parents are oil-rich Navajos who indulge their eldest son with skydiving lessons at an early age. Talltree also studied law and passed the Arizona State Bar exams, but his first love, skydiving, had a firm grip on him. I'd rather jump out of airplanes than write legal briefs. The view's better. From Flint's file, Airborne jokes around and gets loose, but he's serious too. Dead serious, you look at him and sometimes he's looking right through you. Must be the Native American in him. The Navajos call it the far-seeing look. Spooky!
Yeah, I'd be a little leery about doing any vids with guns in chess. They have them on YouTube, but yeah, your other channel might serve you better. Now, what I failed to mention is that the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero line started in 1982, and this figure came out in 1983. So he is from the second year of the Joe team. He's year two. So, great character. You heard from his file card there. He's has some interesting quirks, and one of which is only mentioned in the cartoon, which we'll talk about here a little bit. In the cartoon, he had a couple of really big episodes. He was in the miniseries and had little cameos here and there, but he had two really big, strong Sunbow episodes in the 1985 cartoons season. And one of them was Operation Mind Menace, and that was his big one. But it was also in Cobra Sound Waves, and it showed that he had a little bit of ESP, that he could see things as they were happening. He predicted, he saw the sheep that they were trying to protect. He saw him getting kidnapped by the Cobra. So I know they want them to be educational only, but I don't have a place to do that, a private range area. Yeah, there you go. Now, where was I? Okay, so we were talking. I totally lost my train of thought, but in the cartoon, Operation Mind Menace was his big episode. Him and Flash. It was interesting because they got one of the 82 Joes and him, and they were like best buds, man. And they showed that. It was pretty cool. They like to tease each other a little bit. You could make it a safety video. You can just have the safety dance in the background. I don't know how that would go over, but anyway, in Operation Mind Menace, it revealed that he had a younger brother named Tommy, and that they said he's named Franklin. Now, I take that a step further, and I don't think he'd like to be called Frank, which is what his younger brother called him, short for Franklin. I have a roadblock in my scene that I'm going to show tonight, call him Frankie. But, that's roadblock. That would be something I think roadblock would come. So in the cartoon, that was pretty much it. And Operation Mind Menace, his brother was a telekinetic. He could move things with his mind, and it was pretty cool. So those two episodes to check out. I just watched them again today. I had a lot of fun watching them. It's been a while, but it was cool watching those again. But that'll take us to the comic, where he didn't really shine there either. He had a few issues to talk about. He first appeared in G.I. Joe 11, and I'll give you a better look. I do have that issue. Well, I have them all in the big compendium hardback series, which is nice to have, thanks to Per. But yeah, he first appeared in this issue. Hardly saw him. You know, he wasn't in it much. It was mainly a Doc storyline, Doc and Snow job, but it was a snow mission. So his only cover appearance that I could find is this one here, G.I. Joe 25. Now, it shows him in the front seat of the helicopter. Now, a lot of people think that that front seat would be the pilot's position, but it's not. It's the gunner's position. The pilot actually, you could fly it or use the guns from either seat, but traditionally they have the pilot in the back so he can see everything and the gunner in front protecting him. Now, you've got a really interesting cover here because this is Zartan's second appearance. His first cover appearance. He showed up at the very end of the previous issue. So you've got Zartan's first appearance. You've got Airborne. You've got Wild Bill. You've got the Dragonfly. I do have another version of this comic that they brought out that was a tribute that had a newer cover, but I still love this traditional issue 25. And that artwork was just awesome with the moccasin down there with Cobra Commander piloting the moccasin, which I thought was interesting. That Cobra Commander doing that. But Airborne's coolest appearance was in the very first G.I. Joe comic I ever got, and that's this one here, G.I. Joe 31, where he teamed up with Spirit to keep an eye on Snake Eyes when Snake Eyes was on vacation, because Hawk was worried that Cobra had intercepted his location and where he lived at his cabin in the high Sierras, and he was right. So he sent Spirit and Airborne to keep their distance and not let Snake Eyes know that they were there. But of course, Snake Eyes knew they were there. And he was attacked by Destro, Firefly, and a Crimson Guardsman, Fred II, actually. And in that issue, a lot of stuff happens. But there's a cool bit of banter between Airborne and Spirit, and Airborne got to parachute in this one, so it was kind of cool. Which he's a helicopter assault trooper, and so him and the two Native Americans got to do a mission together here. It was pretty cool, and there was a scene where they came up, they came running up to help Snake Eyes, and Airborne actually offended Spirit. He said, "The cavalry is here," or words to that effect. And Spirit wasn't too happy with him saying that. But let me see if I can find it, the exact dialogue here. But there was such cool stuff that happened in this issue where Firefly, Destro, and this Crimson Guardsman were trying to kill Snake Eyes up at his cabin, trying to get that opportunity to take him out. And they damn near succeeded, man. That's what he says. He says, "Hang on, Snake Eyes, the cavalry's here." And Spirit just said, "What?" Right here, yeah. He says the cavalry's here, and Spirit's just like, "What? What did you just say?" So it don't make any sense to say the Indians are here. So because they were originally called Indians, and they were the first people to be called Indians, as far as I know. But that, and of course I keep issue 32 on the back. But really great issue. Airborne in action in the comics. I really enjoyed this issue. Like I said, it got me hooked on G.I. Joe. It was the first comic I bought for G.I. Joe, and sent me on that collecting spree to get all of them. Figures and comics. That's right. If I can do it. And like I said, I do have a carded version of Airborne I could have shown tonight, but I forgot to go downstairs and get it out of my storage. Now, I know where those are too. That's the sad part. I completely forgot that I had one, because I haven't shown off a carded figure in a while. So, but it's the 25th anniversary. It's not the original or anything, so it's all right. Now that is the character of Airborne in comics and media, and his story is still untold. I mean, he makes little appearances here and there throughout the comics, but doesn't really get another big story arc as far as I know. Now, he may have gotten one in some of the later issues of IDW in the late 200s. Larry Hama, when he started writing it again, continued, and he's still doing it. It's got over 300 issues now. His code name should be more Native American-ish. I thought of that, but like I said, he was a lawyer. So, if you watch the cartoon, his younger brother called him Airborne. So that's where he gets that. But his parents were rich. Okay, he's not a traditional Navajo in any sense of that connotation. Spirit is very traditional, and so I thought the contrast between the two was really neat. How Airborne said the cavalry's here, and Spirit was like, "What?" He was like butthurt that he called them the cavalry. But I like both characters. I think I'm a bigger fan of Spirit, but Airborne's into the guns and the helicopters, and I'm into the guns and the helicopters, so I should be more of a fan of Airborne now that I think about it. But that's all his media appearances. So that takes us to my take on Airborne. Now, Airborne, like I said, year 2. He's one of the OG Joes almost, 1 year removed from being an original Joe. Like Air Eagle, Air Wolf, Air Mystic, or Air Raven. Well, Jess, I have a new code name for Airborne. Just coincidentally. No, actually, for my military action game, I'm giving them all new code names in case I decide to write stories of my own, and I want to avoid copyright and all that crap. But also, in my storyline, I gave a security reason why they don't use their original code names and stuff anymore in their newer adventures. And his code name is Sky Ghost. Whether you like that or you don't, it has a bit of traditionalism in it, but yet not. And my song Sky Ghost that I played at the beginning, I really love that song, and I hope you guys do. But where do I see Airborne in my ranking system in my Joe team? Well, he started out as E5. He did get promoted to E6 in the comics. I see him as recently promoted to E7, which would be in the Army, a sergeant first class. And Sky Ghost. Yeah, see, Sky Ghost works. I agree. He's when he's on a team, he's usually a team member. But in this particular instance, where it was involving, he was put in charge of Alpha Lima, this little base, air base, because that's his specialty. And Joe's specialty generally trumps rank. Like if there's a desert mission, a lot of times they'll put Dusty in charge. He's just a sergeant, E5. Now, on his squad, in my storyline, is Roadblock, Cover Girl, Rakondo, and then I have a nameless G.I. Joe green shirt in there too. But because I think a team leader should always have 4 squad members, a full fire team, as it were. Actually, a full fire team would be 2 squads, but he's got a full squad of 4. The dog breed, Weimaraner, was dubbed the Gray Ghost. Yeah, that's true. Now, whereas Spirit has an eagle as an animal companion, Airborne doesn't have an animal companion, and like I said, he's not that big of a traditionalist of Native American like Spirit is, and not to say he doesn't respect his heritage, because he does. Airborne has a great respect for his heritage, but like I said, he grew up different. He grew up with rich parents, so he has a different attitude towards the world. And as far as I'm concerned, right now he's that squad leader. But as we move forward, Roadblock gets Roadblock and Cover Girl, 2 of his team members, get sapped up into the Alpha team, because new team leader on the Alpha team that's coming up, gets first pick, and happened to pick Roadblock and Cover Girl. But so kind of broke. That team's kind of getting broken up. They were together for 2 years, and that's about what generally they do. They keep them together for about 2 years, and then they either move them around or it's G.I. Joe. It's military. You never know what they're going to do with them. And that's where he is. He's a team leader. He's also a valued team member. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see him in the Dragonfly with Wild Bill as his gunner, his primary gunner. Because if I had my choice of primary gunner, it would be Airborne, because he's good at his job. Did he use his wealth like Bruce Wayne for research and development and whatnot? No, he did not. He joined the military. His parents weren't exactly happy that he joined the military, but they weren't unhappy with him either. They wanted him to be a lawyer, naturally. But, he took a different path. And so my Airborne is he's Sergeant First Class and a squad leader for military missions that involve air power. And now, see, originally in the comics, they had him able to fly the helicopter, the Dragonfly. So he learned how to do that. Then they made him a pilot. They had him come with the Skysweeper and the both versions of the Skysweeper that I showed you earlier. And so he's now a rotary wing pilot. Now he's a fixed wing pilot. So I had him in my storyline. He's checked out to fly the G.I. Joe C-130 transport plane. So, which is what he's going to be doing in the movie. Not in this scene coming up that I'm going to play for you here in a bit, but that's one of the things he does. But that's what Wild Bill would have encouraged him to do, because that's what Wild Bill does. He flies everything. Wild Bill calls himself the bus driver. And as much as I would like to see him teamed up with Flash more, I haven't seen that. I never saw that in the comics, just that one episode of the cartoon, which was really cool. Him and Flash make a great team. And I would like to pair them up more, but they don't have Flash in the classified series yet. So we'll see. Maybe when Flash comes out, I can do some stuff and put them on the same squad again. I think my sister's widowed husband was Sergeant First Class. P7. It takes a while in the military to get to that rank. But Airborne's been in the military a long time, and so I figured he had earned that by now. All right, so that is my take on Airborne. The fact that he's Native American doesn't come up much. They always, when you say Native American G.I. Joe, everybody always goes Spirit, even though Airborne was first. But Airborne's not the traditionalist, so he's just another American hero. And that is my take on it. So, all right, that's gonna take us to our movie clip, and make sure I didn't forget to show you anything. I showed you all these comic covers. So there's that one, G.I. Joe 31, G.I. Joe 25, and his first appearance in G.I. Joe 11. A lot of those 1983 Joes appeared in G.I. Joe 11. But they had 10 issues of G.I. Joe with just the original 13 Joes, so that was pretty cool. He did see a lot of air jumps. He broke both his wrists in one night before your sister got sick. Oh, what a bummer. But yeah, it's even with all the advancements and everything, it's risky to jump out of airplanes. It's not a simple thing. All right, so showed you all the pics I wanted to show you. I played the file card for you. All right. All right, let's take a look at this real quick, and then we'll take a look at my new G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright clip for you. Here is the Hilt Fam Play Motion, which I need to update for the movie.
Hilt Fam Play Motion. You will see hands. Figures are plastic, but the voices are real. It's from the Hilt. Let's play.
Now this clip, it still needs. It's a raw clip. It's my second draft. I've had to do some AI voices because I don't have all the voices I'm supposed to have in it. I got most, There's only one person who's holed out on me on this, and they know who they are. They're watching right now. But no, I even had to do an AI voice for Viper in this one and Zorana. But you'll see there's quite a few regular voices in this one, the most so far that I've done. And let's roll a clip and get it all ready to go. This is Act 3, Scene 9, which means it's the 10th clip for the movie, because we had the preamble to start it off, and then now we've had 9 scenes. So let me pause this and get it started proper. And I will back off and let you watch it as a movie. Let's turn these comments off for right now, and I'll be able to watch the comments on the side, and I'll be in the chat during the movie. You will try to focus on that as soon as they give you your meds. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do. We'll get it together before we release this as a big movie. So no big deal. That would have been nice to have it in here, but that ain't how it worked out. All right. So here we go. G.I. Joe, Lady Bloodright.
Don't speak too loud, don't stand too tall, but I hear the thunder before it calls. They taught me justice behind a desk. I found it better wearing a Kevlar vest. They say my eyes go somewhere else, like I'm reading through your skin. It ain't magic, it's just knowing.
You know, staring like that won't stop them from burning. You're gonna burn holes through those clouds, Frankie.
They're down there, Marvin, getting chewed up while we sit on our hands.
We're sitting where Hawk put us, and when they need us, we'll be there so we can all fly out of here together.
It's like waiting for lightning. You already here.
Have some of my premium brewed cup of joe.
Thanks, Roadblock. Much appreciated.
It's the least I could do for you, Frankie. Man, how about you? You want some? I'm good, thanks.
It feels wrong sitting here. We should be down there. We should be doing something.
We're doing what we've been ordered to.
Radio silence. Watch them burn while we just follow orders?
Until we hear different. If they fall, we're their last chance.
Yep, the last line of defense. And when that time comes, Courtney, I guarantee you'll have plenty to do, and we'll be on the offense.
There you go, rhyming again.
Just keeping the rhythm going in my head. You're doing good, Airborne. You hold this ground. You're holding the last shot.
Yeah, last shot. You want your job back as squad leader?
Not today, my man. This is all you. You got this, brother.
Yeah, got this.
Don't see me till you're gone, and then you know who carried on.
Either way, we got your back.
Keep your eyes open, Joes. They're moving undercover.
Smoke's too thick, but they're out there.
Dialtone, you've done all you can out here. Get in the comms tent and see if you can hack these little buggers.
It would be my absolute pleasure, Lieutenant.
Really? In the field. Scarlet will do.
Understood, ma'am. Scarlet.
Pin them Joes down. Keep them locked.
Understood.
Hey Leatherneck. External comms are still jammed, but I did set up the secure landline to Alpha Lima. Incoming fire on sectors 3 and 4.
Copy that dial tone. Okay, people. Rotate those guns. Okay, Stardust. You're stable enough. So I've given you your kit in case we get overrun, but you got to stay as still as possible.
Thanks, Stalker. I hate staying still.
You want to get up. Then stop falling out of the dang sky.
Copy that.
Victor Bravo. Night Force inbound. Damn, not getting anything but static.
Cobra must be jamming.
Oh, from what I can see, they're jamming all right.
Clearly that Saw Viper didn't hit your funny bone rat.
Looks like we're going in hot.
Let's go in smart then.
You bet we will.
Priority 1. That helicopter.
Take it down.
There goes their ride home.
Don't bet on that, Joe. What you don't know will kill you.
Reinforcements always show up after the cool kids have done their bit.
Better late than Cobra.
Beautiful shot, Shockwave.
Bitch was going down.
Catch you later, rat.
I should try to be here.
I'm counting on it.
Glad you're here, Falcon. You can take command anytime, Captain.
No can do, Scarlet. I need to perform an emergency surgery on Tunnel Rat here before he goes septic. This command is still all yours.
Oh, that's just great.
Well, in that case, tend to your patient and get your ass to the infirmary to relieve Stalker. We need him out here pronto.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just Scarlet.
Back for seconds, boys.
You know I'm hungry.
Leave me some scraps.
Meat first. Plenty for everyone, me boyos. But Clutch is all mine. I'm gonna get him for smashing my shades.
Scarlet, I've got external comms backup.
Took you long enough.
Wonderful. What about those stinger blades?
Still working the problem.
Get it done.
Stay focused. We'll push back their flanks.
We'll hold them back till they break, or we do. Gung-Ho, direct your fire to Sector 5. Hold the line.
You got it, Scarlet.
Stalker, you're relieved. I've got them. You're needed on the line.
Then let's do it.
All right, you Cobra scum. You want to fight? Well, you've got one.
Dropping targets, Sarge.
It's time. The balance must return.
Let's clear the field, boys.
Withdraw. They're baiting us. Another time red.
Thanks for the save, Sarge.
Wasn't gonna let you hog all the glory, Lieutenant.
Scarlet will do, Sarge. What? No barbecue and Footloose?
Sent them on to the pit with our heavy gear. Where's Falcon?
Oh, he's taken over the infirmary and is performing surgery. I'm in command.
Yeah, well, at least he's got his priorities straight now.
I suppose so.
He'll need an extra set of hands. Spirit?
Understood, Sarge. On it.
Looks like we got here just in time.
Either that or just in case. Well, no chance of that. Take a gander.
Oh, hell. Well, at least everyone's here. Now we just gotta bug the hell out. Let's get everyone ready for evac. But we're gonna need one hell of a rear guard.
I'll take care of that.
Oh, I was hoping you might.
You heard the lady. Let's do this.
Yo, Joe!
And that there is Act 3, Scene 9. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, it's going to sound a lot better with your voices, Jess. Very cool scene. A lot of pieces in that one, a lot of parts I had to put together. It was kind of all over the place. Had most AI voices, most voice acting that we had to do in that. Ironically enough, Red only had one line in that. Scarlett, Margot K, Mama Sin, she has a bunch in that one. You got quite a few in that one, and I was all over the place doing voices in that one. Tunnel Rat, Roadblock. Who else did I do? Sergeant Slaughter. My Sergeant Slaughter voice was pretty good. Ripper. I was doing Ripper's voice in that. So I had some fun. I did quite a few voices for that one. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And that is my scene. You're rooting for Cobra. Well, they're winning at the moment. They just basically beat them back for a few seconds. That was it. So there you go. You're rooting for Cobra. All right, so that's Airborne. Yeah, like I said, these clips, they're not the characters that are in the Joe take. They're not necessarily starring in each of these clips. Now, Jinx is the exception, and Quick Kick. Quick Kicks was a flashback, and Jinx is the overall star of the whole movie. So there you go. Jinx and Viper are 2 stars, really. Which is nice to have Viper back in it. She's going to be through the rest of the whole movie, and so is Jinx. This is until they have their final showdown. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool. You're playing 2 bad guys, so yeah, there you go. You're rooting for bad guys. I get you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and that is my overall take on Airborne. I do have on Joe Take 69 to show you. A little closer look at the character of Airborne and in the outro. So I'll come back a little bit after on Joe Take 69. We'll chat a little bit and I'll say goodnight. Let's check out this little video clip here, and hopefully you'll get a better look at this character that's so cool.
I don't speak too loud, don't stand too tall, but I hear the thunder before it calls. They taught me justice behind a desk. I found it better wearing a Kevlar vest. They say my eyes go somewhere else, like I'm reading through your skin. It ain't magic, it's just knowing where the hurt begins. I'm the ghost in the rotor wash, fire in the spin. The calm voice cracking when the fight begins. No flag, no prayers, just dust and lead. I hold the line where angels dread. Sky ghost, I don't speak loud, but when I fly, you hear thunder from a clear blue sky. Been 2 years with this crew of mine, each one scarred but standing fine. Cover girl don't smile like she used to do, but she still when the metal sings true. Ricky Kondo keeps his words like knives, sharp and few, but he'll save your life. And then Roadblock, he's the ground beneath, cooks our food and carries grief. Alpha Llama's just a patch of dirt, seat under, tummy humming, engines alert. Gun mounts posted, jump jets prime, we ain't moved in days, but it's feeling like time. Hawk said hold it, so here we stay. Dust in our teeth, ghost in the fray. We ain't green, we're set to bleed. 4 good Joes, all we need. We see the flashes down below. Forward for now.
clip with the helicopter was a lot of fun to do. I had Jake help me, and I used my little Dragonfly helicopter with my classified Airborne, and he was attached to the bottom of the hook and cord that comes with the Dragonfly, and it looked, you couldn't really tell that he was the wrong size for that helicopter. I thought we did pretty good. It was fun. Anyway, that's Airborne. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on this really cool 1983 G.I. Joe. You know, he was part of the first reinforcements for the team. So, you know, when they got new people in, everyone was right first in line. So, hope, like I said, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time on Joe Takes. Thank you for watching, and thank you for watching the replay. And those of you who are joining me, Jess and Cool Gamer, looked proportionate. Yeah, I thought we did. It was a pretty good camera angle, and we made it look pretty good. Thanks, Jess. So yeah, next week is the final of our summer G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright specials. We've got one more clip for you for next week, which I haven't even started filming yet, but there's your gung-ho secondary cameo back there. But it's only for the back. So yeah, next week is you know, the Iron Grenadiers, or Grenadiers, however you want to say it. I always said it Grenadiers. I never said Grenadiers. I said Grenadiers. You're going to drug yourself now to sleep for a long time. Well, only drug yourself enough so you go to sleep. Yeah, so you wake up. We need you around here. You make life more interesting. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's what's going on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel. Of course, we'll have File Card Fridays. So Iron Grenadier is going to be this Friday, so check that out. And we'll be focusing on the character next week, Iron Grenadier, but also the entire sub-team. So that's what's going on next week, Iron Grenadiers. And the final clip before we have to put the whole movie together, and the finale and all the little extra bits. You'll try. Well, good. And on that note, yo, Joe, and we'll see you next time on the G.I. Joe. Welcome to the G.I. Joe Gamer channel. Good night, my friends.
Logan's room full of Joe Take dreams. Crimson Guard with eyes on the team. Snake Eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke as the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra Commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet Sharp hits hard, flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. Logan's G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Sartain shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baron is cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs, wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads, we cheer. From the hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe Takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. Logan's the G.I. Joe Gamer, plays it best. Yo, Joe, Cobra, let's go. Let's go. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view.